All right, thank you very much, Kunle Adeye, for that background report. We have with us here in the studios the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, that's Elijah Mohammed. To kickstart this conversation, we have two other guests, of course, who will join us later on in the course of the conversation. Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, pleasure to have you with us on the program today. You've also been very busy. We know that it's electioneering season, and in your home state of Kwara, you've been quite busy, and yesterday you were in the southwest, and today you are here with us in Abuja. So busy season for everybody. But ahead of the 2019 elections, barely 3 months away now, what is it that we are looking forward to in terms of the atmospherics, in terms of the issues, in terms of indeed what the voters ought to watch out for?
Thank you very much. I think for a government who has been on in the saddle for almost 3 years, 5 months now, what the electorate would want to hear is what have you done in 3.5 years? What were the promises you made to us? Have you kept them? For a government who has been in the saddle for this length of time, it's not about name calling or mud slinging. It should be about what exactly have you achieved in the areas of fighting insecurity, providing infrastructure, fighting corruption, impacting on the lives of Nigerians. And this is what we as a government, we're very proud of our achievement. We are comfortable to discuss. We did promise Nigerians that we were going to revamp the economy. And one of the major planks of revamping the economy is investment in infrastructure. Here we talk about power, talking about roads, we're talking about rail, talking about water. And this is one area that we have a beautiful scorecard. And I'll start with power. On the 29th of May, 2015, power generated in Nigeria was about 4,000 megawatts. Even though before we came in, power had been privatized. But today as we speak, we are generating over 7,000 megawatts of power. And this came about because the federal government provided a 701 billion naira payment assurance program put in place to ensure that gas suppliers, power generating companies are able to go, do their jobs, even when the discos are not in a position to pay them. So what we first did was we put in place this 701 billion naira and encouraged the GENCOs and the gas suppliers to go ahead, and we will pay them while we sort the matter with the discos. So today, from 4,000 megawatts, we have 7,000 megawatts just in 3.5 years. Distributable power, when we came in, only 2,690 megawatts of power was being distributed. We came in again with the distribution expansion program. We have been able to raise it to over 5,000 megawatts. Now, the capacity, transmission capacity, when we came in, was barely 5,000. Today is 7,125. So we can say and ask Nigerians, do you spend more money on diesel today than you spent in 2015? Do you have, longer, supply of power from the grid than you did in 2015? And the important thing, which is critical, is that this is a government that is doing much more with less. as opposed to those who had more money than we had and did less. In the area of roads, I have traveled to every geopolitical zone, at least 4 now, inspecting the progress of government in roads. And again, we have a success story to tell. We took a 100 billion naira sukuk bond, which we divided into the 6 geopolitical zones equally. And with that, we are today funding 25 critical road projects all over Nigeria. But the results are showing. The travel time today between Lagos and Ibadan has reduced drastically. We have not completed the road, but those who use it will tell you, before they used to sleep on the Lagos-Ibadan road. This doesn't happen again. The Shagamu, Ore, Benin road, again, travel time, accidents have reduced because of the work we're doing. I was in Ilorin-Jeba road in September. It used to take 5-6 days to move from Ilorin to Jeba because the road had collapsed. Today you can do the same journey in less than 2 hours. I was in the southeast. I traveled from Enugu to Port Harcourt via Aba, and I could see that the 4 sectors, the 4 contractors on that 240-kilometer road are all working. I traveled from Enugu to Onitsha to go and inspect the Second Niger Bridge. And the good news is that the federal government today has put in place a Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund with a seed money of $1.3 billion to ensure that 5 critical projects would not suffer from funding. These are the East-West Road, Second Niger Bridge, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the Mambila Power Project, and the Abuja Kano Road.
All right, Honorable Minister, there's another area that I want you to speak to. 2019 is just here with us, and people will be going to the polls to vote. I want us to also look at the electorate. Can you talk about the social intervention programs? You were in Kwara and a few other places. Let's hear from you. What is the reaction of the electorate to these programs? Especially lately, we've been hearing so much about trader money.
Well, you see, we have various components of the social investment program, and I will deal with the 4 or 5 of them. The first is the Empower. And as of today, the Empower has employed 500,000 unemployed graduates. 500,000. Now, we have the school feeding program of the SIP. And as we speak today, 9,200,000 pupils in 24 states of the Federation, covering over 45,000 schools, take 1 meal a day free. And in the process, we created over 87,000 cooks. So every school day, we feed 9.2 million young pupils. Now, our conditional cash transfer today covers 297,000 most vulnerable and poorest households every month, and they receive stipends from government. This, we work together with the World Bank to identify those who are most vulnerable and those who are poorest. And this is a pilot scheme which is taking place in all the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Our JEEP, which is the government enterprises program, we give loans to corporations, to cooperatives from 50,000 to 100,000, about 50,000 sometimes. Today, over 400,000 organizations have benefited from it, and it's still growing. The trader money, which is one of the most popular projects we are doing today, is to really address the issue of the plantain seller, the retail seller, and we are targeting at least 2 million people that will benefit small soft loan of 10,000 from the trader money. So in terms of social investment program, we've impacted on almost 10 million lives, 9.2 pupils, 400,000 from JEEP, 500,000 unemployed graduates, and about 297,000 vulnerable households. So that is the impact that we've made on the lives of the common man just from the social investment program.
Sorry, Kingsley, let me just do a little follow-up. Still on this issue, because we've treated most of the social intervention programs in the studio here. We've had even beneficiaries come to talk about what they have gained so far. But of course, we notice that there are challenges. How do you intend to deal with these challenges and also to ensure that there's sustainability, you sustain the programs?
You see, the beauty of our SIP is that our SIP programs are devoid of politics. If you want to participate or benefit from the Empower, you go online. So it's not as if, oh, you must be a member of one party or the other to benefit, and the beneficiaries will tell you this. Now, again, we spent a lot of time and energy with our consultants to ensure that we get it right from the beginning. That is why it seemed to be slow. But today, you can see more states and more people joining each of these programs. And as for sustainability, we have ensured that the methods we are adopting and so that are not subjective. They are very objective.
So there's a structure, so that those who are running it now, if they're not there, it can run without
the system is not run. That's why I said the system is not run politically. The system is run by experts, it's run by people who have done similar things before, and is completely, devoid of politics. All
right, Honourable Minister, I'd like to return to the part of the question I asked earlier with regard to the atmospherics ahead of the 2019 elections. Well, of course, the papers that we reviewed this morning included reports from the meeting that the National Security Advisor chaired yesterday, focusing attention again on the potential misuse of social media. And arising from that, of course, is also the question of hate speech. So, from your perspective as the Minister in charge of Information and Culture, what particular concerns should there be with regard to political communication ahead of the elections?
I think you remember I've been here before. On this 11th of September, we launched a national campaign against fake news and hate speech. This is because we realized that the greatest danger to the 2019 election will be fake news and hate speech. Because what we've witnessed over the last couple of months is an intensification of fake news, exploiting the fault lines of the country along religion, along ethnicity. And even the BBC's report said that the farmer-herdsmen clashes is being fueled more by fake news than by anything. And the unfortunate incident in Kasuwa Magani and other towns in Kaduna State in the last week, a Catholic bishop said rumors and people died more from rumors and fake news than from gunshots. So really, the issue of fake news is a clear and present danger, not just to the 2019 election, but to the very existence of this country. And this is why you notice that my ministry, I spearheaded a campaign against, fake news and hate speeches, which has taken me to about 6 establishments so far. We've been to we've been to the Authority newspaper, we've been to channels, we've been to AIT, we've been to People's Daily. I think we've also visited another paper, and it's ongoing, because we want to appeal to the self-responsibility of this media organization, that they must understand that the first casualty of fake news and hate speeches will be the media itself. Because once a media organization is no longer credible, that is the end of the organization. And then we must all, as media practitioners, understand and appreciate the fact that fake news is not new. Neither is it unique to Nigeria. Different parts of the world, different measures have been taken to to address it. Some countries like Zambia have actually legislated against fake news. Even the UK Parliament is waxing stronger and stronger against fake news. And I think in Israel, last week in Israel, certain very tough measures were taken against fake news by deleting several accounts. But the platforms such as social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Google, Facebook are also very concerned. And I think when I was in London last week, about 60,000 accounts were actually deleted by Facebook as a result of this fake news. So we must look at and address the issue of fake news as a serious issue. So many ridiculous things are being said about people on fake news, and the danger, like the bishop said, is that more people may die from rumors and fake news than even from gunshots. Because what happened in Kaduna last week was that there was a problem in Kasua Magani. The government of Kaduna State immediately, took action. It was under control. Some, hoodlums were trying to, mount roadblocks, and then people started turning back without knowing what was happening. When they got back to Kaduna, they asked them what was happening. So people were killing Christians, are killing Muslims are killing Christians, and before you knew it, there was another problem in the state. So fake news is real. It's dangerous. We must all work towards, and especially in the run-up to 2019 elections, it become an issue. For a government that has performed like us, I keep saying, we don't have to engage in mudslinging or name-calling. Our achievements should speak for us. But the government cannot be indifferent to the menace of fake news, and this is why we have taken it on ourselves to campaign, to continue this campaign and appeal to all media organizations and let them understand that if they don't self-regulate, they will self-destruct.
Honorable Minister, you laid so much emphasis on traditional media. I think
social media, I said.
Because social media seem to be one of, if you look at the stories you see on Facebook, WhatsApp, these people go online quickly to post information, but traditional media practitioners will want to verify and balance the stories. So what are some of your agencies doing to see how they can educate the people, the electorate, and also talk to maybe bloggers and those who engage in
we have engaged, we have personally engaged bloggers, social media influencers, and made them to understand the danger in fake news and hate speeches. In particular, we advise everybody, social media in particular, and everybody that, look, if you have any story, please check the credibility of the source. If you can't vouch for the source, don't share it. I was in London last week when the story about Nnamdi Kanu resurfacing in Israel broke out. And the next thing he said, I issued a statement threatening Israel, that Israel does not release Nnamdi Kanu, we're going to attack them with missiles. But the sad thing is that otherwise intelligent people, lawyers, academicians, believed it, and they started sharing it. This is the danger about fake news. Honestly, I was baffled. I said, look, it's okay if some miscreant sits in a place and then manufactures or fabricates fake news, but for otherwise intelligent people to start commenting on it as if it is real. Number one, you should ask yourself.
Maybe.
Well, I'm wondering. I mean, sorry. When you were getting into this subject, I was chuckling because I'm sure you must have seen your caricature in the social media, of course.
Like a terrorist.
Yeah, precisely how you were going to attack Israel, and so on and so forth. I mean, some persons use this for entertainment purposes, but the dangers that you are highlighting are real. But there's one issue arising from all of this, because I talked about political communication, under which all of this, can be classified. Persons are also saying, I don't know how this can be managed much more effectively, when they feel that access to media is denied, particularly in the campaigns, and then there is a resort to some of the negative aspects of social media. You even saw during the primaries how all kinds of conflicting figures and reports were being posted. We have a potential danger on our hands. How do we overcome this?
Honestly, you see, we have a problem on our hands. And these kind of excuses people want to profile, that they don't have access to information, absolutely bunkum. I was in Ibadan yesterday, as you noticed, town hall meeting. This is the town hall meeting we had in Ibadan yesterday. Was the 14th series of town hall meeting. And this is one of the innovations we brought to change the way government and people will interact. We have an FGN information app where information real time about government activities, can be obtained. Like I said, we have had 14 town hall meetings on various subject matters. We hold regular press conferences, we hold regular briefings. It is not correct for anybody today to say, fake news is growing because government is not giving us the news. Look, take the issue that the one I've just told you about, when they said I issued a statement threatening Israel. Now, what can you say is because government has not reacted? No, you see, unfortunately...
Look, Candice Purveyor, not Mayor. Are you saying?
you see, let me tell you, the truth of the matter is that with every innovative technology, there is the good side, there is the downside. Today, anybody with access to internet and the telephone can make up a story and it will go viral in minutes, in seconds. Now, and that is why the advocacy we've embarked upon is the only way. Appealing to social media influencers, to social media platforms. And like I told you, all the social media platforms like Google, like, WhatsApp, like Facebook, are facing the same problem. And they understand that this is the monster they created. And they are working very hard. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to meet with Google sometimes next week to see how they can, come to assist us.
How prepared is the NOA to address this issue?
The NOA, you see, the NOA is busy daily at the grassroots level in every language, addressing people on the danger of fake news, on the danger of hate speech. You see, people forget easily. April 2017, we foresaw this. And we had a special National Council on Information meeting on fake news because we knew it was going to happen. So our appeal is for people to join this campaign. It's not about Ministry of Information alone. It's about Nigeria. You see, if you allow people to exploit our fault lines of ethnicity and religion to make up stories that will divide Nigeria, nobody is going to be a winner. And we have said, this government, we are not going to legislate against fake news. No. We're not going to coerce anybody, but we'll continue to appeal to media organizations. We'll continue to appeal to faith leaders. Because it's not just the social media. Even our leaders at times are responsible for this fake news, are responsible for these hate speeches.
I'm wondering, Honorable Minister, one aspect, you talked earlier about the National Council on Information dealing with aspects of fake news and the dangers. Has there been an evaluation of what the members of the National Council of Information have done in their respective states, other than what the Federal Ministry of Information and its agencies have been doing to put the issues of the counter issues against hate speech and fake news on the front burner. If you were to go to a state, for instance, are you likely to see it find on the local television, on the local radio stations, advisory messages saying, listen, if you have this kind of information, this is how you verify? Or how do you now put out the positive information very quickly to counter fake news that is spreading on the social media?
We would appreciate collaboration from states, and we hope if every, station can do what NTA is doing to wage the war against fake news, I think we'll get there, faster. But we can only appeal to states. We don't have the cohesive power to compel them. But I know even at the state level, these matters are even as active. Because while at federal level we talk only about, religion and ethnicity and political, it's even more divided again at the state level. And I think any responsible government at state level would support this, drive of us. For instance, today we have NTA, FRCN, TVC, NAN, People's Daily, partnering us in the fight against, fake news and hate speech. And what we want to do is we want to have very soon a conference, of all these our partners, so that we can see the way forward. Where they can give us more space, more airtime, to fight this menace, because it's a real present danger to the very existence of the country.
How about engaging the state to join in this same collaboration to see how you can all work together?
It's going to feature very much at the next National Council of Information meeting, which we are arranging. But again, we will use this platform to appeal to all the states that it's not about APC or PDP, it's about Nigeria.
Well, so let's return again to political campaigns proper. I mean, some persons tended to have suggested that once the country got into the heat of elections, governance might suffer. What is the attitude of the federal government? Yeah,
you can see from what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, my colleagues, we've consigned political, campaigning, electioneering campaign to the political party. We as a government will remain focused on our projects, because the only thing we can campaign on is what we have achieved. So our eyes have not left the ball. You have not heard that any Federal Council meeting has been cancelled or postponed as a result of the coming elections. Only yesterday, Mr. President was in Port Harcourt to commission the Port Harcourt Airport. I was with 3 of my colleagues in Ibadan, town hall meeting. All of my other colleagues are all busy, doing their job. I think that we have the separation of power. Let the party continue with the electioneering campaign. We, as a government, will provide them the ammunition they need, so to say, because if you go to the rostrum to campaign, what are you going to say? But because we have worked very hard in 3.5 years, you can go and campaign and say, look, when we came in, Nigeria was spending $1.65 billion a year on rice importation. That today has been cut by 90%. When we came in, there were 5 million rice farmers in Nigeria. Today we have 11 million rice farmers. These figures are not mine. These are figures belong to the RIFA, the rice, the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria. We can campaign today, very comfortably to say that from 13 integrated, rice processing mill in 2015, we have 21 today. Fertilizers, we sold we distributed in 2017 alone 10 million bags of 50 kg fertilizers, at 5,500, naira. And I don't think anybody has heard about fertilizer trucks missing in the last 2 years, or farmers complaining that they have no access to fertilizer. So we have issues we can campaign about, and for us, we will continue to work until the very last moment, and let the politicians, in quote, the political party, continue the campaign.
All right, talking about campaigns, for a while now, we've been talking about political parties, primaries, politicians. Are politicians worried about the electorate? Are they talking about the voter? Do they even know what the voter is interested in? Are we considering the voter in this 2019 general elections?
Well, you see, 4 years ago, if you had asked me this question, probably I would have answered, because then I was a spokesperson for a political party. Today, I'm the spokesperson for government. But having said that, I can say that a government that feeds 9,200,000 people every day, a government that is able to increase the number of rice farmers from 5 million to 11 million, a government that can increase power generation from 4,000 to 7,000, a government that can embark on roads and cut down travel time, is a government of the people. It's a government that has impacted on the lives of people. And what I tell people, like my colleagues, is that the choice in 2019 is either you want to go back to the inefficient past, or you want to go and continue with the development of this government. Do you want to go back to a situation where we had only 4,000 megawatts of power, or a situation today where we have 7,000 megawatts of power? I want to go back to a situation where in one day, 38 billion naira was siphoned to construct fences around all our dams, and to have helicopters, protecting our dams 24 hours against Boko Haram, and nothing was done. Or you want to join a government that has actually said zero to corruption. So the choice is there, and it's easy for people. So for us to campaign, we are going to campaign on issues. We're going to campaign on what we have done. We're going to campaign on how we have revamped the economy, how we have created more jobs. We're going to campaign on how we have been able to improve the infrastructure, and how successful our social intervention programs have been.
All right, just one last question before we take the reactions from our viewers that have come in by tweets through our Twitter handle, which is at NTA GMN. Our political observers will say that the credibility, freeness, and fairness of an election will depend not just on the electoral management body, in this case INEC, but also of the government of the day. What assurances are there from the incumbent administration with regard to the coming 2019 elections?
I think Mr. President has said it several times. I think the last time was about just a week ago, that this government will not interfere in the management of these elections, and that elections will not only be free and fair, it will be credible. And I think this government has shown through all the elections that are taking place that it would leave INEC to conduct elections. And not that alone, would work to provide INEC with necessary tools to conduct free and fair election. The EU team was in my office, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, yes, they were in my office, and I also assured them that this government would ensure that the elections are free and fair, because we are confident that our records and our achievement is all we need to campaign.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take the tweets that have come in now. Daily Jack Solomon, INEC, government, political parties, and other stakeholders should handle the 2019 general elections carefully for the sake of national unity. This they must not fail to do.
And let's take the next one from Festus Akimboyewa. He says, during electioneering campaigns for the 2019 elections, politicians should discuss policy change on issues that affect Nigerians such as security, healthcare, education, financial safety, jobs, and morality.
And the next one is from Oladimeji Morufu. Nigeria is our fatherland. Politicians should not encourage violence.
And Mike Anyako tweets, electioneering campaign must be based on issues and not attacks on personalities. Hate speech should also be discountenanced by candidates. It is high time INEC look into campaign funds of the candidates.
Law Alpha C, the electoral empire and security agencies should monitor political campaigns to ensure that they are devoid of ethnic sentiments.
And the next one is from Law Alpha C again. Money politics has come to stay, and it's a cankerworm that has eaten deep into the political fabric of the highly impoverished people.
And Mike Ayankwa has this tweet: electioneering campaign is an integral part of an election. It gives the contestants the opportunity to showcase their manifestos to the electorate. Now, the campaigns in Nigeria must conform to the laws prescribed by INEC. Unfortunately, some politicians deviate from the norms and rules.
And let's take this last one from Mutana Farouk. He says, electioneering campaigns should be undertaken to achieve political goals, but what plays out in the political arena today is a total contrast. Electioneering campaign must not be seen as an avenue for castigation.
All right, those are the tweets that we can take. We'd like to thank you for sending those tweets. But we are still on this subject matter, but right now we're going to have to appreciate the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, for being with us on the program this morning. When we return from this short break, we'll have two other guests who will join us to discuss the issue.